What is religion, and why are there so many religions in the world? Is it not possible to have just one religion for the whole humanity?
Religion is an inquiry. Just the way science is. With one difference, that science inquires about the objective reality, that which is there out of you. Science excludes the scientist himself. It inquires about everything except the inquirer. Religion inquires about the inquirer. It is an inquiry of the inner, the subjective. And it is immensely surprising that the scientists have never bothered about the consciousness which is doing all the investigations, inventions, discoveries. It seems absolutely absurd that you are not bothered about the most fundamental reality in the world. Because man is the only one who has a subjectivity, who has an inner world. A chair, a table, they exist, but they don't know that they exist. There is no knower within them. They exist for you, not for themselves. There is no one inside them. They are only means. You can use them, misuse them. It doesn't matter. Because there is nobody inside who is going to be hurt, who is going to feel bad, who is going to react. Man is the only phenomenon with a depth. Everything else is superficial. Everything else is just the surface. Behind the surface, there is nothing. It is just like peeling an onion. You peel one layer and you find another layer. You peel that layer, you find another layer. You go on peeling layer upon layer, and in the end, nothing is left in your hands. You can go on peeling things. Ultimately, you are going to find nobody there. And science is very accurate, very logical, but in a strange way. The scientist keeps himself out of his investigations. He brackets himself out. He is the sole source, and he is not included in whatever he is doing. He is the doer, he is the witness, he is the finder. But he does not exist. The scientist does not believe that he exists, for the simple reason because he cannot put himself as an object in front of himself. How can you put yourself as an object in front of yourself? Just try. You jump in front of yourself. But the one in front of whom you were jumping is no more there. He has jumped. Again, in front of you there is nobody. You go on jumping. The scientist concludes that you cannot put yourself in front of you because you are not. If you were there, just as other things are, the rocks, the trees, the whole existence, you would have been able to put yourself on the table but this very whole idea makes the scientist look silly. The scientist goes on thinking that he is very clever, very intelligent, and of course he is as far as things are concerned, but he has a blind spot. He believes in things, And because he is not a thing, it obviously proves he is not. Only things exist. There is nothing else than things. And if you indicate something which is not a thing and yet exists, he is not going to believe it. First you have to prove its thingness. Now that's impossible. Consciousness is not a thing. What can we do? But just because it is not a thing, that does not mean it is non-existential. One blind man was brought to Gautam Buddha. He was a logician and of great genius. Many scholars have tried to prove the existence of light, but they have all failed. He was always victorious in every argument, every discussion, every debate. He has become famous. Everybody knows light is. But it was impossible to prove to the blind man. For the simple reason that the blind man had a certain condition which has to be fulfilled if anything exists. He had only 4 senses instead of 5. He has not the faculty of seeing. Now there is no way to prove to him that he is missing a faculty. How you can prove it? You cannot show him that other people have eyes and you don't have. That is the very problem, so you cannot show it to him. If you could show it to him, there was no problem. He would be able to see other people's eyes. Why he will not be able to see the light? So first he said that you are all trying to prove something which does not exist. There are no eyes. And if they are, just let me smell them. I can smell. Let me taste them. I can taste. I have got these 4 senses. And the same about light. These are all just lies. If light exists, hit it by something, it will make sound. Anything that exists being hit by something makes sound. I can hear the sound. Or at least put it in my hands I can feel whether it is heavy, rough, smooth. How to put light into his hands? How to make him taste light? What taste light has? What a smell light has? But you cannot say that he is absolutely wrong. What he can do? He has no eyes. All that he has, he is ready to use it, and you are unable to give him the proof which he can judge. The same is the situation with the scientists. Even worse. The scientist is observing, experimenting, but he is not ready to believe that there is an observer in him. It will look to you how it is possible. Observation is one of the methods of science. Certainly an observer is needed. For observation, three things are needed: the observed, the object, the process of observation, and the observer from where the process will start. Observation is a connection between the object and the observer, between the known and the knower. Knowledge happens. He is ready to accept the known. He is ready to accept the knowledge. But he is not ready to accept the knower for a simple reason, because the knower himself cannot be made an object of knowledge. And he believes only in objective reality. If you look at it in this way, science will look such an idiotic approach based on such an stupid idea which even a small child can understand. But you should also see the trouble. The scientist also feels in moments when he is not so hard a scientist and is a little more human. He can see the point, but his problem is that unless something is observed, its existence is not proved. It remains only hypothetical. Religion's whole work is that corner which science is continuously denying. To know the knower, to see the seer. to feel the feeler, to be conscious of consciousness. Certainly, it is a far greater adventure than any science can ever be. Because it is going into the scientist himself. The scientist may go to the stars, may find the ultimate division of objective reality, but will remain absolutely ignorant about himself. In India, we have small earthen lamps. They are nothing but just small cups made of earth, filled with oil. They have a humbleness and a beauty, but a problem too. Because of that problem, in India there is a proverb, Diya tale andhera. Diya means the lamp. Underneath the lamp there is darkness. It is a cup. The flame is there. It throws light everywhere, all around. But underneath itself there is darkness. It's strange, but exactly true about the scientist. He makes everything lighted, but just underneath him, within him, darkness. Perhaps more darkness than in anybody else. It seems as if he makes the whole world lighted, and all the darkness from every corner that he expels becomes concentrated into his own being. You ask me, what is religion? Religion is to make that dark inner world lighted, where no science can reach, where no science even believes that there is anything to find. Religion goes into that darkness and dispels it. Hence, the experience of religion is called enlightenment. The moment the darkness from within you disappears, you are transformed, transmuted into a new being. Your whole life will remain the same, but with a difference, and a difference that really makes difference. You will eat when hungry, and you will sleep when tired. But these small acts will have now a totally different connotation, a different quality, a different intensity, a different flavor. You will be asleep and yet awake. You will be tremendously loving, but never falling in love. Because to fall in love is a contradiction in terms. In love, one should rise, not fall. You will be continuously loving, showering your love, not only to those who are related to you. The ordinary love is person oriented. You love your mother, you love your brother, you love your wife, you love your son. The love of an enlightened person is not person oriented. It is just his flavor, his fragrance. Even if a stranger passes by the side of him, he will be as much a receiver of his love as anybody else. Whether he receives or not, that is up to him. He can keep his doors closed. He can remain hard, unvulnerable, closed. But that is his doing. The man who knows himself is just like you. He is you, but with only one difference. His house is lighted. Your house is dark. You have every potentiality to put the light on. Everything is there, just you have to put the switch on. You have to find the switch, which is not very difficult either. It is your house. Man has been searching millions of stars the whole past millions of years, even trying to find out about the future, and is not capable to find a small switch in his own being. Which can make his whole life a tremendous ecstasy. Religion is the search of your inner light, of your inner being. It is as much an inquiry as science, but much more profounder, much more higher. It is the supreme inquiry, the ultimate adventure that man can go on. And the finding is the immeasurable treasure of all that is beautiful, blissful, peaceful, eternal, immortal. That is your kingdom. I will not call it kingdom of God. Who is this fellow God, and what God has to do with it? It is your kingdom. Jesus makes you feel like a pauper, a beggar. That you are blessed. Why? Because you will be inheriting the kingdom of God. It is not yours. It is somebody else. It depends on His mercy. So, go on praying, praising the Lord, that be merciful. Remain a beggar. Jesus makes you a beggar. And almost all the religions do the same. Hence, I call all these religions pseudo-religions. They are not truly religious. True religion will make you the emperor. It is not that you are going to inherit somebody else's kingdom, because anything inherited can be taken away. And there will be competition. Who gets ahead? Who gets more? Who gets a higher position? The last night Jesus is departing from His disciples, and the Jesus was asked exactly the same question. That, Lord, you are now leaving. One thing has remained unsettled. And you must know they were all Jews. Business, after all, is business. We have followed you so far. And they were following just for the inheritance of the kingdom of God. Now the question is, they are 12. Of course, this make the concession that Jesus is the Son of God, so he will be standing on his right side. He will be the second in the kingdom of God. But who is going to be the third? You should decide amongst your 12 disciples what positions we are going to have there. Now, if you talk in terms of kingdoms, that will become your inheritance, then all these questions are simple. That who will inherit the most? And there is going to be constant fear that if you do something wrong, you may lose it. So go on praising the Lord. That's what the Christians, Hindus, Mohammedans, all around the world are doing. A very strange situation. They all say that be humble. Do not hanker for possessions. Do not be attached to things. Remain contented with whatsoever you have, you are. But why all these people are praying everywhere? Morning, evening, round the clock. Millions of people are praying. Millions of hours are wasted for what? Inheritance. Now, so many people. I used to tell to my father that I don't want this inheritance. He said, why? I said, divided into so many people, it is going almost nothing. So many millions people have been before. So many million people are right now. And the world has not ended yet. Millions of people are going to be there. Just think a simple arithmetic. So many millions of people. How much kingdom is going to be my inheritance? He said, you will never stop asking mad questions. I said, this is not mad question. I am a businessman's son. I am simply asking just pure business. I am going to devote so many hours a day. What is going to be the outcome of it? I don't think God will even recognize me into such a crowd. On the judgment day, Can you imagine the crowd? I don't think that anybody will bother what sins I have committed and what virtues I have done in such a crowd. And everything has been to be decided within 24 hours, one judgment day. I don't think that there is going to be any judgment on that day. And not only men, half of them will be women. There is going to be so much noise and so much gossiping and people meeting for so many lives they have not met. You just imagine the situation. On that day, any judgment is going to happen, anybody is going to bother about God. People will be looking after their friends and wives, and each person must have had millions of wives and millions of lives and millions of children. I don't think, I told my father that I am absolutely certain that that day particularly there is not going to be any judgment. Who is going to listen? But all these people are praying because these pseudo-religions have created a beggar in you. And a beggar can never be religious. Only an emperor can be religious. Hence I have been telling that religion is the ultimate luxury. You have to drop the whole idea of being a pauper and beggar. You are not. And the kingdom is not somewhere else in future, in somebody else's hands, that you have to praise him and massage his feet and buttress him. It is within you. It is already there. Just a little groping within yourself. And that's what religion is. A little groping inwards. But the pseudo-religions go on forcing you. In the same way as the science does. Science at least is objective and brings some results because it is concerned with things. Pseudo-religion is the worst that could have happened. It is not religion. It is not an inquiry within. It is not science. It is not an inquiry into objective existence. Then what it is? It is an inquiry of something which is within. But it is trying to find it out. That which is within is being searched without. That is the pseudo-religion. science is a little blind about the scientist himself, but about everything else it has very clear perception. Religion is absolutely perceptive because it is pure awareness. The pseudo-religion is nowhere, neither here nor there. It is neither objective nor subjective. It is a deception. It is cheating people. And the pseudo-religion has been fighting against both science and the true religion. Just the other day in Athens, 10,000 Orthodox Greek Christians, clergymen, marched into the capital in protest. It seems 20th century is never going to come. Because of a textbook in Greek high schools in which Darwin is mentioned and his theory that man has evolved out of animals. Against that textbook, that it should be banned immediately, these bishops and cardinals and high priests, they all marched in black robes. A great day of mourning. That this fool Charles Darwin still continues in the textbooks. And they demanded, they had posters that nothing which is against God and God's religion will be tolerated. Everything that is against God should be banned from all educational institutions. And Greece should be declared a Christian country. These people are against Charles Darwin. No problem. Anybody can be against Charles Darwin. But by your act you exactly prove what you want. To be taken out of the textbooks. This behavior is not human. If you have guts and intelligence, prove Charles Darwin wrong. So many years have passed. Almost 1 century has passed. In 1 century, all your Christian scientists, thinkers, theologians, professors, and they are in millions, they could not prove this single man wrong. On what grounds you want that his theory should be taken out of textbooks? Just because you say so? Just because it goes against the theory of creation. That's the trouble. God created the world in 6 days, and Charles Darwin says it has evolved. That is the trouble. You may not have exactly found where the problem is. They are not worried about that you have come from monkeys. That does not matter. If God can make man out of mud, that's what the word human means. Out of humus, mud. The word Adam also means out of mud. If that is not insulting, that God created man in the muddy range. That's why it is called Big Muddy Range. Because the biggest thing happened here. No, that is not insulting. God created woman out of a rib of man. He could not find anything else. Some great idea. A rib of man. So if these are not insults, then what is the problem if Charles Darwin thinks that man evolved slowly out of monkeys? Monkeys seems to be far better than mud. At least they are alive. In fact, very much alive. Intelligent people. What is wrong in it? And if men or women can be created out of rib, then monkey has at least all the organs, not only a rib. No, that is not the problem. People have thought that these clergymen, these Christians are against because monkey seems to be insulting. No. The problem is that God created, and creation and evolution can't go together. Those are contradictory words. Creation means finished product. In 6 days, God finished the world. He gave the last finishing touches, and after that he has not bothered at all. It is just like from a factory, from the assembly line, a car comes out completely finished. it does not go on evolving. That later on, two hands grow, a tail comes out, and strange things start happening to it. It is a finished product. The idea of religions is that God created the world as a finished product. Now there is no question of evolution. Monkeys were created as monkeys, man was created as man, trees were created as trees, and there has been no evolution. There is no progress. Things are static. They are where they have always been. There is no movement. In fact, if you go deep into it, time loses all meaning. Your clock unnecessarily goes on ticking. Meaningless, because nothing changes. Everything is a finished product. Charles Darwin, unknowingly, because he was himself an Orthodox Christian, he was not aware what he is doing. That's how unconscious man goes on doing things, sometimes even against his own philosophy, his own religion. He was not aware that he is doing anything against God. He was a very God-fearing man. He has not thought that the idea of evolution goes against God. But it goes. It means there has never been any creation. Things were never there as finished products. They have always been evolving. Evolution is eternal. And is continuously going on. It is an ongoing process. We have not reached the end either. There has never been any beginning, there will not be any end either. That is evolution. Constant evolution. A continuum. That creates the trouble. It cancels the whole idea of creation. So these pseudo religions have been fighting against science. Anything that goes against their scriptures has to be prohibited. Anything that goes higher becomes more human, more rational, that has to be repressed. Some 20 years before, in America, they stopped prayers in schools and educational institutions. Because a democratic government should not support any kind of belief. Because if you support any kind of belief, whose belief you are going to support? In a democracy, naturally it will be the majority. But then, who is going to protect the rights of the minority? If the Christian is by majority, the country is Christian, then who is going to take care of the Jews, Mohammedans, Hindus, Buddhists, small minorities? Their children will have to be forced to do Christian prayer, to read Christian scriptures, to go to the Christian Bible class, to pass in it. And it is against them. This is simply against individual liberty. This is not democratic. So it was a great step that prayers were dissolved, stopped, but the Christians were hankering, and now they have got a president who is as bigoted as any ordinary Christian. Now he supports that one minute of silence in every educational institution, school, college, university, must be compulsory. On the surface, it seems there is no problem. Silence is totally different. 1 minute of silence, it is neither Jewish, not Christian, nor Hindu, but then you are too simple-minded. The strategy is that Christian priests are telling to their congregations, to the children, that use that 1 minute for Christian prayer. You remain silent, and inside you recite the prayer. Now this is bringing prayer from the back door. How politicians work. In the first place, Ronald Reagan should prove that he can remain 1 minute silent. And now there are instruments, so it is not a problem that it can be checked whether you are silent or not. Just like cardiogram. Wires are attached to your forehead and they start making the graph whether you are thinking or not. If you are thinking, then the graph takes long leaps, small leaps, bigger leaps. If you are not thinking, then there is a harmonious continuity of the graph. It is so simple now. to find out whether a man is silent or not. It is no more just closing your mouth is enough. First, Ronald Reagan should prove that he can remain 1 minute silent. But nobody asks him. Nobody asked him. 21 states in America have already passed the bill that 1 minute silence in every educational institution is compulsory. Just a hint from the president, and they were all ready. And the priests are doing their work that use that 1 minute. So prayer is back. These pseudo-religions have corrupted human mind in every possible way. They have given you unscientific ideas, anti-scientific ideas. They have also given you very orthodox, old, dead, out-of-date ideologies which prevent you becoming contemporaries. And the most harmful thing that they have done is they have prevented you from finding what religion is. Because before you can find out what religion is, you are already a Christian, Hindu, Mohammedan. The child has no chance to inquire, to doubt, to question. When he is so soft that you can engrave anything on him, you engrave. And later on, when he becomes harder, those engravings remain lifelong with you. It is difficult to erase them. Very difficult to get rid of them. They have become almost part of your bones and marrow. You ask me why there are so many religions. There are so many religions just as there are so many diseases. Health is one. You don't need any adjective to it. If somebody asks, how is your health? You say, I am perfectly healthy. He does not ask you what kind of health. If he asks you what kind of health, you will be surprised. He will say simply health. Health is just health, a sense of well-being, that nothing is wrong, that everything is running smooth, that I am happy, that I can't think that things can be better than this. But are there many kinds of health? No, there is only one kind: healthiness. But diseases are millions. The same is the case with truth. Truth is one. Lies are millions, because lies depend on you. You can go on inventing as many as you want. Diseases depend on you. You can go on living wrongly, eating wrong things, doing wrong things, and you can go on creating new diseases. Health is the same, always new. But always it has been the same. You can call it the ancient most, and yet the latest, the newest. 5,000 years before, somebody was healthy. You are healthy. Do you think there will be some difference? He was not of your color, he knew not your language. And 5,000 years have passed. But if somebody was healthy, whoever he was, whatever his language, whatever his color, whatever man or woman, child or old, if he was healthy, then you know at least one thing, what he was healthy. That feeling of health you can experience. You need not know anything about that man. Beautiful, ugly, long, tall, does not matter. One thing is similar, that he was healthy and you are healthy. One experience is exactly the same. But diseases, every day new diseases go on being produced. There are millions of diseases, and there will be many more as man becomes more inventive. You never go to the doctor because you are feeling healthy, or do you? That for 2 weeks almost I have been feeling healthy. Something must be wrong. In fact, in ancient China, there was one thing worth remembering. Perhaps sometime in future it may be used again. Confucius impressed China the most. One of his ideas was, and it became implemented. For centuries it remained functioning. The idea was that the doctors should be paid for keeping the patient healthy, not for curing him. Because if a doctor is paid for curing you, then his vested interest is that you should remain sick. More you fall sick, the better. More people are sick, the better. You are creating a dichotomy in the physician's mind. First, you teach the physician that your work is to keep people healthy. Your function is to lengthen their life, vitality, youth. But your vested interest is that if everybody remains healthy, young, nobody falls sick, then you will die out of hunger. If everybody is healthy, then doctors will be sick, completely sick, sick unto death. What they are going to do? No, doctor's vested interest is against the philosophy that he has been taught. His interest is that people should remain sick. More sicknesses, the better. Hence you will see one strange thing. If a poor man falls sick, he gets well sooner than the richer man. It's strange. Why the poor man gets well soon? Because the doctor wants to get rid of him, unnecessarily wasting time. He has no money to give. On the contrary, he asks the doctor some money for medicine. If the doctor prescribes fruits, milk, this and that, he says, then give me some money. When I have, I will return it back. And the doctor knows that he can't return back. So give him medicine, give him fruits. It is better cure him as quickly as possible. But if a richer man falls sick, then it takes very long. Perhaps the doctor goes on praying to God then to keep him. Perhaps he dilutes the medicines. And in countries like India, you need not do anything. Because nobody knows what is in the packet. You are giving injections and it is just pure water, even not pure water. So the pharmacy people are immensely helpful in keeping people sick. Confucius' idea is of great importance. He says that every person should pay to the doctor a monthly salary for keeping him healthy. If he remains the whole month healthy, then he has to pay a certain amount to the doctor. If he falls sick, then accordingly the salary will be cut. Very strange in the beginning, because we are knowing just the opposite all over the world, but very logical, very sane. And Confucius is in many ways a sane man. Everybody should have his physician and he should pay the physician for keeping him healthy, not for curing him. If he falls sick, then the expenses go on the doctors. Then the medicines, then all the expenses, and his salary will be cut too, because he has not been taking care of the man. And for centuries it continued, and it worked well, tremendously well, for both, for the doctors, for patients, for both it worked well. Doctors were not so heavily burdened, and patients were perfectly happy, because now the vested interest of the doctor was not against them, was in their favor. So doctor was not interested that they should in any way fall sick and should depend on medicine. He was prescribing more exercises, walking, swimming, sports, so they remain healthy. And for centuries China must have been the healthiest country in the world while Confucius' influence lasted. The same is the situation with religions. Religions want you to be spiritually sick. They don't want you to be full of light. They want you to be full of darkness, sadness, anguish. That is their vested interest. If people are really happy and joyous, then churches will fall empty, synagogues will disappear. Who is going to pay all these rabbis and all these bishops? For what? Who is going to listen to their stupid advices? Pseudo-religions live only because you are not aware of the authentic religion. Hence, whenever anybody is there with an authentic idea of religion, all pseudo-religions are against him immediately. That should be taken as an indication. A Jew can be against Christian, a Christian can be against a Jew, a Mohammedan can be against a Hindu. That's okay. That is just shopkeepers fighting amongst themselves, competitors fighting amongst themselves. But you will not find all the so-called religions against one man. And whenever you find that, then be a little alert and cautious that one man must have something which is hitting all the pseudo-religions in the same way. He is hitting their pseudo-ness. So it is no more a question of Christian, Hindu or Mohammedan. Just one question is there. Somebody has asked that in America the government sources think that you are planted by Soviet Union here. And in Soviet Union, my books are banned. I have few sannyasis there, of course, underground, but they meet, and one woman got caught because she was the messenger taking books, magazines and other things. And they harassed her in every possible way. They wanted her to confess that I am an American agent preparing people and sending them into communist countries to sabotage. She said, but this is absolutely absurd. She informed me that this is strange. In America they think you are from Soviet Union. The Soviet Union people think that you are an American agent. I said, this is not new. The same was happening in India. Hindus were against me. Jainas were against me. Buddhists were against me. Mohammedans were against me. Christians were against me. Parsis were against me. These were the religions there who were against me. And many times I was asked that one can understand that some one religion is against you, but all the religions? And then Communist Party also joined them. Communist Party published a book against me. Then what? It was really hilarious. People who believe in God, they are against me. People who don't believe in God, they are against me. Materialists are against me. Spiritualists are against me. Spiritualists think that I am a materialist. Materialists think that I am a spiritualist. And nobody asks me who am I. They are deciding themselves. But they are all against. And on one point they agree. That if I have to be destroyed, they all will be together. There will be no differences, no theological problems, no ancient quarrels and fights, nothing. They will all agree that this man has to be destroyed. For the simple reason that I am not striking against any single principle. I am striking against the very root, the pseudo-ness of religions. And why Communist Party became involved? Because I say communism is a materialist pseudo-religion. Just as fascism was a pseudo-religion. Now the followers of Adolf Hitler say that he was the reincarnation of Prophet Elijah. And I have received letters from them that you should not speak against Adolf Hitler because it hurts our religious feelings. I said, my God, it is impossible to speak even against Adolf Hitler. I had never thought Even in my craziest ideas, I have never thought that it will hurt people's religious feelings. Political feelings I can understand, but there are no political feelings. There are only political ideas. Yes, if I speak against Jesus, somebody's religious feelings may be hurt. But this letter is from the president of the Nazi American Party. And it is a threat that you should stop speaking against Adolf Hitler, because it is not anything to do with politics, it is our religious feelings. Adolf Hitler is a religious leader. If these people had won, then you can imagine Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Benito Mussolini, these people would have been installed in churches, in synagogues, in temples. Krishna and Jesus and Buddha would have been thrown out. And you would have been worshipping these people. I am not being far-fetched. In Russia it has happened. Russia was one of the most orthodox Christian countries. What happened after the revolution? Now Lenin's grave is being worshipped. And while Stalin was alive, his statues, his pictures were being worshipped. Karl Marx's book Das Kapital has become the holy Bible of the communists. And the same misfortune has happened to Das Kapital that happens to any holy book. Nobody reads it. The holy book is the worst fate that can happen to any book, because then nobody reads it. It is too holy to read it. Just to worship it, put few flowers on it. A small child was asked in the school that, can you tell us what is in the Bible? Because the teacher was telling what is in the Bible for a few days. A small boy stood up and he said, yes, I can tell. In my Bible, my sister keeps her love letters. My mother keeps my father's lock of hair. The teacher said, is your father dead? No. He said, my father is not dead, but his hairs are gone. Just an ancient memory. That once he had hairs, she keeps. And my father keeps tickets of movies, race courses, lotteries. My Bible is full of so many things. There is no Jesus in it, no Moses in it. These are the things that are significant in it. A holy book finally reaches to this state. The holier it becomes, the less it is read. These books, at least I have read, because to me they are not holy. They are just books as any other books, just badly written, not great masterpieces. You cannot compare them with Leo Tolstoy or Dostoevsky or Chekhov or Gorky. Naturally, because Luke and Mark, these poor fellows, what they can do to become Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, that is not possible. In fact, whatever they have done, it is great. Illiterate, poor, knowing nothing, at least they compiled whatever Jesus was saying. And what Jesus can say, just in those 4 Gospels, and those 4 Gospels can be condensed because they are all repetitions, all the 4 versions of the same person, 4 journalists reporting a single speech. Little bit different, but it is the same thing. The whole Bible can be condensed in a small postcard. All that is essential can be written on a postcard. Even then, those essential things are not authentic. They are all borrowed. Jesus is quoting. They are all within inverted commas. He is quoting old prophets. Those old prophets were quoting other old prophets. It is a very strange story. That who is the guy who started all this nonsense? It is very difficult to find. They are all quoting. Bible is not very old, but in India there are very ancient books, but they are all quoting. Even the Rig Veda, which is thought to be at least 5,000 years old, according to the Christian theologians, whose whole interest is to bring it as closer as possible, because they have a problem. And the problem is that Bible says the world God created 4,004 years before Jesus. So if there is a book which is older than that, that will create trouble. So the whole vested interest of Christian theologians is to bring down, but they cannot do even more than that. Actually, according to Hindu astrologers, and which seems to be a very scientific observation, that Rig Veda describes a constellation of stars that happened 90,000 years before. About that, Western astronomy agrees that that constellation, that particular constellation, happened 90,000 years before. And that is described so accurately that it is impossible that a book that was written 5,000 years before could describe something that happened 85,000 years before. There is no way to describe it, and so accurately. Either just by memory, generation to generation, it was carried on, but then too, the world has existed long before then, 4,000 years before Jesus. That makes only 6,000 years old. In India, there are cities which are 7,000 years old, decided by Western scientists. And if cities were there, and cities that you will not be able to believe, and seeing the India of today, it becomes even more improbable. I have been to Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Both are now in Pakistan. It seems Mohenjo-daro must have been a great city of its times, and it was destroyed 7 times. Some natural calamity, yet undecided. But the people were really courageous that they went on creating again and again and again. The city exists in 7 layers. When the first layer was found, it was thought that that's all. A whole city. And just by accident, while digging the first layer of the city, they found that it seems there is another layer also. After 20 feet mud has covered the previous city. Must have been a tremendous flood that brought so much mud that the whole city was covered. Mohenjo-daro has been found by and by 7 layers. Now they have come to the final. Now there is no other label. Each time the flood had been there, one never knows how many thousand years it took for the city to be destroyed for 7 times and to be rebuilt again. The beauty is to see that the roads are far bigger than they are of modern Bombay. far broader. The city was not just a primitive kind of city. Houses have attached bathrooms which don't exist in today's India into at least 98% houses. Attached bathroom is a modern phenomenon. Even just 200 years before, in Europe, there was no attached bathroom. The outhouses were really outhouses. And when for the first time in America, 100 years before, the first attached bathroom was made, there was such an uproar that it was against religion to have a bathroom in the house, a latrine inside the house. This is sin. It was discussed in the parliament. It was with great difficulty that the Supreme Court could decide that if somebody wants, it is his house. If he wants a bathroom inside the house, it is nobody else's business. If you don't want to go to his house, don't go. But it is his individual freedom. Within 100 years, we have moved much. The latest design from Scandinavia is a room in a bathroom. I loved the idea. Why? An attached bathroom. The bathroom is bigger. The room is inside it. It should be in our commune. The first thing. It is going to make history. And perhaps again there will be trouble in parliament and that these people are doing now too much. Putting your room and your study in the bathroom. But in Mohenjo-daro, there are attached bathrooms. Underground gutter system. Pipelines, not of metal, made of mud. Pipelines bringing water into the bathrooms, hot and cold water, both are available. Swimming pools, and at least 3-storied buildings. 7,000 years before, that culture must have been on earth at least for 2,000-3,000 years. Otherwise, how you can develop all these things? All these holy books I have gone through. One thing is unanimously there in every holy book, that it is pseudo, that it is not based on authentic experience, that it is really a strategy to keep people in ignorance of authentic experience. Because if the authentic experience becomes available to people, the whole priesthood loses its glory, its power, its position. And the priesthood is one of the biggest profession in the world and the most respected profession. And perhaps the oldest profession. People say that prostitutes are the oldest profession. I don't think so. Because without a priest, how there can be a prostitute? Who will call her a prostitute? Who will condemn her a prostitute? A priest is needed before a prostitute. In fact, the prostitute is a byproduct of priesthood. The priest has to condemn sex, has to condemn any extramarital relationship, has to condemn premarital relationship. All that is needed to create a prostitute. And then he has to condemn the prostitute. Priesthood seems to be the oldest exploiting profession, and certainly far worse than prostitution. At least the prostitute offers you something. And I don't think that she is absolutely useless. Perhaps it is because of the prostitute that most of your marriages are stable. She is saving your marriages. Wives are not worried if the husband goes to a prostitute, because that is only a sexual relationship. There is no problem. He is purchasing a certain commodity, that's all. But if the husband goes to some woman who is not a prostitute and cannot be purchased, then the wife becomes afraid. Then she freaks out. Then there is danger. The prostitute is never a competitor. She has never been thought as a competitor. And the poor woman saves your marriages, saves many rapes happening in the society. Because those people to whom she is available, if she was not available, were going to find some woman or other. They are not going to just sit silently and do nothing and the grass grows by itself. There the grass does not grow at all. You can go on sitting forever. The prostitute is saving many women from being raped. And the poor woman is reduced in that situation by our whole society and condemned. You reduce her into that position. No society has allowed the woman economic freedom. No society has allowed the woman education, culture, equality with man. You don't leave anything to her except her body. She has nothing to sell. And this situation, the priest is the most responsible. If anybody is going to hell, it is the priest, not the prostitute. Because he causes the whole thing. All holy scriptures and all priests are doing one thing, simply one thing, trying to hide the authentic religion which erupts once in a while, in spite of all their efforts. But they go on hiding it. They do two things to hide. First, they fight it. They try to crucify it. They try to kill it. I have seen caps, sweaters with my head on it, crossed. They are being sold, must be in millions, because they are being produced in Hong Kong, in Taipei. When Hong Kong and Taipei or Korea produces anything, they produce in millions. It is not less than that. They cannot put me on the cross. It will be too crude and ugly. But the desire is there. That desire comes in those pictures, posters. The mind is the same. The first thing is to destroy the person in every possible way. That's what they are doing here. They say that this city is illegal because it mixes religion and state. Now they are passing a bill in the assembly that our schools should not get any grant from the government because they are religious schools. All the Christian schools are getting the grants. All the teachers are Christians. All the students are Christians. But it is not a problem. Our schools don't teach religion at all because we don't have any religion in that way. Our teachers don't even go with the mala in the school when they go to teach. I was seeing a film about the Supreme Court of America and how it has been drifting by and more protecting government rather than the individual. And the reason why they are doing it is because in America the Supreme Court has 9 judges. They are appointed by the president. And they are lifelong appointments. That provision was made so that nobody can pressurize them. Once a judge is appointed, he is appointed for his whole life. So you cannot pressurize him. What pressure you can put on him? You cannot throw him out of his service. There is no higher post that you can prevent his promotion. You cannot demote him. Nothing can be done to him. That's why this idea, but they forgot one thing, that someday the president has to appoint, and by coincidence 5 of the judges out of 9 are going in this year in retirement. Their life term is finished. Now Ronald Reagan has the power to appoint 5 Supreme Court judges. Out of 9, 5 will be his men. That has taken all independence and glory of the Supreme Court. Now they are dancing on the tune of Ronald Reagan. Because he wanted this 1 minute silence to be introduced, the court has not objected. Otherwise, the same court has 20 years before stopped prayer, which was coming on for 2 centuries. This film does a investigation, goes around, inquires teachers, school principals, and I was surprised that openly on a public media, teachers declare, one woman teacher declares that I am a 24-hour Christian. So even when I am teaching, I am a Christian. And I will continue to teach my beliefs. And Christianity is not a religion. It is a way of life. If Christianity is a way of life, then all the religions are way of lives. What is the problem? And if a Christian can say that I am 24 hours Christian, then why a Jew should not be 24 hours a Jew? And as far as my people are concerned, they work at least double than anybody else. They are 48 hours. Rajneesh is in 24 hours they do 48 hours work. And it is not only a way of life, it is a way of death too. Because living we have our style, dying we will have our style. But we don't teach any religion because we don't have any beliefs. But the woman says openly that she will continue whatever the government decides or the Supreme Court decides. She will continue to teach her beliefs. These schools will continue to get the grant from the government, and all the schools, almost all, are in the same position. But the bill is only against our school, one single school, one small school. They will try first to destroy in every possible way. When I had come here for the first time, I used to see every 15th day the county road was being mended. But for last 2 years, they have stopped mending the county road because our people are passing on that road, so let them suffer as much they can. The first effort will be to destroy, and once they have succeeded to kill the man or in some way to camouflage his message, the second thing is to praise him, to make a great religion out of his teachings. It will look very contradictory to you, but this is how it works. Kill the authentic man, the authentic message, and then distort whatever he has said, comment on it, make a great theology out of it. So all that he has said is lost in the turmoil, and make a religion out of it. Again, new employment for new priests. They don't miss that point. Jesus is crucified, but Pope is welcomed. In fact, they should crucify every Pope. Just to prove that they are Jesus followers, representatives. Something should be done. If you don't want to crucify completely, just cut somebody's head, somebody's hands, somebody's legs, but do something to prove that this man represents Jesus who was crucified, at least partially. But they are welcomed. When the last Pope came to India, it was a problem. The President of India came to Bombay to receive him. Dr. Radhakrishnan was the President. I asked him in New Delhi afterwards that you never go to receive Sankaracharya. You never go to receive the head of the Jainas or the Buddhists. You are a Hindu and you are a follower of the Sankaracharya of the South India. You never go to receive him when he comes to Delhi, even to Delhi airport. Why you went to receive Pope? He said, it is politics. I said, then if you are a man of any integrity, renounce this politics and expose it. The Pope has to be received by the President, because the Pope controls 600 million Catholics around the world. And those are the richest countries that he controls. So it is not the Pope that you had gone to receive. You would not have gone to receive Jesus. You would have been one of those to crucify Jesus. And his representative is being received, welcomed, and you are not even ashamed. But that is what is happening all over the world. Wherever Pope goes, there is a red carpet welcome. Jesus was never given a single red carpet welcome. Even a small red carpet would have done. The only welcome was that he had to carry his cross himself, and he was not that strong. And the cross was really heavy and big. He fell 3 times on the way. and they won't allow anybody to support him. They laced his body and told him that, get up. It is your teaching. You have been saying to people that everybody has to carry his own cross. Now carry. This was the welcome that he received. Once he died, then a new shop opens. On his death starts a new religion, a new employment source for priesthood, and really it turned out to be a big business. As far as I know, Jews are still hurting. They missed the greatest opportunity. It was their own boy who started the whole firm, and others are reaping the crop. They missed the chance. So first the pseudo religions will kill the authentic religious person, source, and then the priesthood will gather around and will make another pseudo religion. That's why pseudo religions go on becoming more and more and more. There are 300 already on the earth. And you ask me, is it not possible to have one religion for the whole humanity? It is not possible. Neither it is needed. Because that whole idea of monopoly has always been there. Mohammedans have been trying to make the whole world Mohammedan, so there is one religion. Christians have been trying to turn the whole world Christian, so there is only one religion. All these people have been trying to have one religion of the whole humanity. No, even to support that idea is dangerous, because that simply means destroy others. But who are we? If somebody wants to remain a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian, then it is his choice. It is nobody else's business. Religion is a private concern, a personal concern. You like a certain flower, and I don't like it, but that does not mean that we are enemies. No, there is no need of one religion, but there can be one religiousness. People can belong to different kinds of religions, but still they can carry the same quality of religiousness. Then there is no problem whether they go to the church or to the synagogue or to the temple or nowhere. They don't go anywhere. Their own house is a temple. It is possible, not only possible, it should be made possible, that there is one religiousness in the whole humanity. But that religiousness can take as many forms as possible. I love a world full of variety, full of colors, full of different perfumes. There is no need to regiment the whole humanity into one pattern, into one model, that will be ugly. That will not make man rich, it will make man utterly poor. So it is a little complicated, but you have to understand me. I accept as many religions as possible. In fact, I would like every individual to have his own religion. As many religions as there are individuals in the world. But the same quality of religiousness. Millions of lovers can be there, but the quality of love. Millions of intelligent people are there, but the quality of intelligence is the same. Light your inner being, and your life will start spreading vibrations which are exactly the same. To whomsoever that enlightening will happen, the same vibrations will arise. And you will be able easily to recognize people, whatever their color, whatever their language, whatever their country, you will be able to recognize immediately that that man's house is lighted. You can see it even from the outside, even from the windows, the light shows that the inside is lighted. You need not even go inside the house. The house can have any shape, any color, any paint, any architecture. It doesn't matter. What matters whether the windows are showing the light or not, whether your eyes are full of light or not, whether your being radiates religiousness or not.